Hi folks, today we're going to install some shade cloth in here. These videos are brought to you in part by our Patreon contributors. Our top contributors are TrueAquaponics.com, GreenLifePlanet.net, GlassBottleOutlet.com, and GrowPockets.com. Thanks for your support. This past July has been really hot and we've had a lot of sun, and most of the lettuce has bolted really early and is just burning like crazy. The plants like the butternut squash have loved the heat and the light, but lettuce just did not do well in here at all. The basil also did really well in here and didn't suffer badly at all. Even with the large 48-inch fans that I have in here, it takes a little bit over a minute to exchange the air, so the air is moving through here pretty quickly. You can hear the fans in the background, so I apologize for that. I'm actually filming this in the evening just because it's getting a little bit cooler. But with those fans in here and the exchange rate, it's still not enough to keep it cool enough in here. And when the sun's hitting this at high noon during July, the temperature at the fans is about 15 degrees warmer on that side of the greenhouse than it was on the entry side of the greenhouse. So even with moving the air through that quickly, it heats up pretty quickly in here. So a little shade for the plants is going to help out a lot. I jury-rigged a little bit of a shade for the seedlings. So basically around midday the sun's up high and it gets shaded fairly well just by putting this raft above them. And then in the evening and the morning the sun comes around and the plants will get a little bit of light. And this has helped them a lot. I was losing seedlings right in the trays. They were just burning with the light hitting them so much. So my plan is to basically run a cable from this purlin over to the other one, and they're about 16 feet across, and then hang the shade cloth from that. I could put the shade cloth over the top of the greenhouse, but I just don't want to have to deal with taking it on and off and pulling it on, so I'm just going to keep it inside and turn it into a curtain that I can move back and forth. And hopefully someday I could actually automate that and just let these things open and close as I need light on the plants. So we'll see how that goes someday. I bought shade cloth that was pre-made in 16 by 24 foot sizes. So in theory the 16 feet should get from purlin to purlin, and the 24 feet should make a nice cover down most of this part of the bed. The bed's 98 feet long. I bought 2 of these, so I'll at least for this year cover half of the bed with shade cloth. And this is a 40%. Being up north, you don't need to go much heavier than that. We could, but I'm going to try the 40% and see how it goes. So try not to destroy my squash while I'm putting a ladder in here. So what I'm going to do is put an anchor into one of these screws and tie the rope to that so the frame will take some of the weight. Then it's just going to go over the top of this and over to the other side. So a friend of mine convinced me to use some parachute cord for the cabling. I was going to use some steel cabling and priced it out. It's going to be about $80 to do this setup, and this was $7. He swears it's going to hold up, and we're going to find out. If it doesn't, it shouldn't be too difficult to replace it. So I'm just going to tie a little loop into this. Stick it over that anchor. I still think this is going to stretch a bit, so we're going to see what happens. This definitely has some stretch to it, so we're going to see what happens. Thankfully, the shade cloth is very light. Now that I know where my knot needs to go, I can release this and put a loop into it. I forgot to mention earlier that I'm installing these turnbuckles onto the other end so that I can tighten up the cord if it does get a little bit too much slack in it. My initial thought is this paracord is going to stretch too much, but I'll give it a little time, see what it does. I bought a whole bunch of these really cheap carabiner clips, and what I'm going to do is hook one through the eyelet of the shade cloth, and then the other one I can hook over the string. Just makes it easier to replace the rope if I need to, or take the shade cloth on and off. And hopefully it won't pull on the eyelets too much on the shade cloth. You can definitely tell the paracord's not going to make it. It just sags way too much. So I think tomorrow morning we're going to head off to the hardware store and get some steel cabling. Well, it makes for a really nice hammock, and I should have known better. I wasn't thinking about it at the time, but I'm definitely going to have to run at least 2 cross cables over, and that will help support the shade cloth a little bit better up in here. So I'm just going to temporarily support it with some more of my paracord until I can get the right cabling to replace this. So now I'm thinking to just stick with the paracord, maybe run them every 4 feet instead of 8 feet, and will just help suspend these up a little bit better. But I can walk underneath this, and even with the extra paracord, it's going to be a lot cheaper, because I think with the steel cabling, I would still need to use the steel anyway to support all the midsections. So I think we're gonna try it this way and see what happens. I'm definitely gonna have to rig up some method to move this all the way down here. For now, looks like my level's gonna work quite well for that. So there you have it. That was a fairly easy install. A couple of second guessing what I was going to do. Definitely will install another run just to help support this. It's plenty overhead, but I just want to get it up out of the way a little bit more in case we get a couple taller visitors. It's up about at 8 feet right now at the cable height, so this will lift this section up another foot or so. But overall, I'm happy with this. I have one more that I'm going to put up, but I definitely have to get some more hardware and some more paracord to do it. Thanks for watching.